Hello, Worry Warriors. I am Counselor Keri, and I'm back for another Worry Warriors chat with you guys. So today, our Worry Warrior question of the day is, how can I feel more confident when I have worries? Sometimes when we have worries, it's kind of like our thoughts are telling us we can't handle something, or something's too scary for us to do or too big for us to handle. And that's not always true. Now, sometimes it is, but sometimes our worries are just tricking us and they're telling us that we can't handle something that we really can. And we have a really awesome Worry Warrior battle skill that we can use to deal with these things. And it's called self-talk. Self-talk is exactly what it sounds like. It's just the way that we talk to ourselves. It's that internal monologue or dialogue that you have in your mind. It's when you're kind of talking to yourself. Maybe it's out loud, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just in your mind. And it's just the way that you talk to yourself or talk about yourself. The way that you talk about yourself or the way that you talk to yourself can really affect your confidence. So sometimes we say things like, I can't handle this, or I can never do that, or nobody likes my ideas. And that's called negative self-talk. We're talking negatively to ourselves. But our battle skill is all about positive self-talk. So we can turn that negative self-talk around, make it positive self-talk to give ourselves more confidence, to remember that we can handle the things that are going on around us and that we can face those things that sometimes we're afraid to do. So let's think of an example. Maybe you have a really big presentation coming up and you think that there's no way that you could ever get in front of the whole class and give your presentation. Maybe your self-talk or your worry that you have is, I can't handle this, or I can't do this. But we can flip it around and use positive self-talk and tell ourselves, I can handle this. I can do hard things. It's a totally different way to talk to yourself, and it can change your whole perspective on the problem. When you practice this positive self-talk, it can give you more confidence to face the thing that you're afraid of, like giving a presentation in class. Or maybe you're working in a group with people and the worry or the negative self-talk that you have might be, nobody likes my ideas, or they don't care about my ideas, or what if they don't like my ideas? That can be your negative self-talk. Remember that what if is a clue that it's a worry, because we don't really know what the answer is if we don't share our ideas. So we can turn that negative self-talk around and make it positive self-talk and say, my ideas are important too. My ideas matter. See how it changes the whole way that you're looking at the problem? You go from thinking nobody likes my ideas, or they're not even going to like them, to reminding yourself that your ideas matter too, because you are an important person and your ideas matter. So it's a totally different way to talk to yourself. When you have worries, you sometimes get stuck in this negative self-talk pattern. You might talk down to yourself or talk badly about yourself and tell yourself you can't do things that maybe you actually can do. So if you practice this positive self-talk, or talking positively to yourself or about yourself, you can change the way you feel when you have these worries. And remember, our thoughts are connected to our feelings, and our feelings are connected to our actions. So if we change the way that we're thinking about ourselves, we can change the way that we feel about ourselves, and we can change the actions that we take. If we have a presentation and we're talking negatively about ourselves, saying, I can't do this, or I can't handle this, then we might feel pretty down about ourselves or feel discouraged, and then we might not want to give our presentation. But if we change the way we talk about ourselves and say, I can do this, I can do hard things, then maybe we'll feel more confident, and then we will actually give our presentation. It can change the whole cycle if we just change the way that we talk to ourselves or talk about ourselves. So you can practice this at home. Anytime that you notice a worry or a negative self-talk statement that you're saying to yourself, get a sticky note or just a piece of paper, and you can write down the opposite. Write down a positive thing that you could say to yourself instead. And then if you do have sticky notes, stick it in your mirror, or stick it in your binder or your journal, or somewhere that you're going to see it all the time. And every time you see that sticky note, say that positive self-talk statement to yourself, because it takes a lot of practice, you guys. It doesn't change overnight. It doesn't change just by saying it to yourself one time. But when we keep repeating these positive things over and over to ourselves, we really just change the whole way that we think about ourselves, and that positive self-talk comes a little bit more naturally. Okay, that's all for today, Worry Warriors. I'll see you soon.